Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video today, and today we're going to be talking about the Sacramento Kings potentially trading for Brandon Ingram, as recent reports are that the Sacramento Kings have discussed a trade for Brandon Ingram, and they really want to add in a third star next to, Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. I think this is probably going back to last offseason after getting eliminated by the Golden State Warriors in the first round. But I think Brandon Ingram, and maybe you could argue Zach LaVine as well, are two guys who definitely could be, players who, could end up in Sacramento as the third star next to Fox and Sabonis. But, I'd love a Brandon Ingram addition for this Kings team. One-time All-Star, one Most Improved award in the 2019-20 season. He's still 26 years old. So, he's young just like De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. They're not young, but they're not, they're still, these three guys are probably in their prime. Sabonis just had his best season this past season. Fox had his best season in the 22-23 season, also was good in the 23-24 season. Obviously, Brandon Ingram didn't have his best season this past season. Obviously, I think probably the 22-23 season, you could argue, or maybe even the 19-20 season or some of his best years in his career. But putting Ingram next to Sabonis and next to Fox, and also I think a really good player in Keegan Murray, who I think is just going to continue to get better, would be a great Kings team. I think you're looking at the Kings being a top 5, maybe top 6 team with Ingram, Sabonis, and Fox and Keegan Murray, who I just think we saw him take a jump from year 1 to year 2. I think we're going to see him do it again. So, but what does a trade look like to get Brandon Ingram on this Sacramento Kings team? I don't think the value is that high for Brandon Ingram. Obviously, I think he has trade value, but he is going to be a free agent next year, so I don't think he has a lot of trade value. I think you're looking at a DeJounte Murray trade package. If you notice how the Hawks were, the Hawks, I believe, got a first-round pick or two and got a couple solid players like Larry Nance Jr. and Dyson Daniels. Maybe, potentially you could see the Pelicans get a little bit more than that. I think the Kings would offer up Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, a 2026 first-round pick, and a 2025 second-round pick. Two solid players in Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes with a first-round pick and a second-round pick is not bad. Maybe you throw in a second rounder in this deal. But Brandon Ingram is a guy who struggled in the postseason, was terrible when getting swept by the Pelicans. In the 4 games when they got swept by the Pelicans, he averaged 36 minutes per game, averaged only 14.3 points per game, which is 7 less than his season average, averaged 5 rebounds per game, only 3 assists per game, which is way lower than his season average at 6. And his field goal percentage was horrendous at 34.5%. His field goal percentage in the regular season was 50%, and from 3 he shot 25%. Regular season 3-point percentage was 35%. This is not like this has been a continuous thing for Brandon Ingram in the postseason. When they played a 6-game series against the Phoenix Suns in the 21-22 season, he was absolutely fantastic. In 39 minutes per game, he averaged 27, 6, and 6 with 1 steal per game and shooting from 3, 41%, and from the floor 48% in their playoff series against the Phoenix Suns in 6 games. He was terrific in that series. Then the regular season for Brandon Ingram this year averaged 21 points per game, a career-high 6 assists per game, 5 rebounds per game. From 3, he shot 36%. From the floor, he shot 49%. Last year was his best season of his career, though, averaging 25 points per game, 6 assists per game, 5.5 rebounds per game. From 3, he shot 39%. From the floor, he shot 48%. He'd be a great addition. He's a good 3-point shooter. He's a good scorer. I'd like to see how he does alongside 2 stars like Sabonis and Fox. We've seen him play next to 1 star in Zion Williamson, but a star in Zion Williamson who has had a lot of very different injury problems in his career. So there have been a lot of times where Ingram has had to take over as the main star. Fox and Sabonis are 2 guys who have really stayed healthy throughout their careers most of the time. So I think it'd be interesting to see how Ingram plays as the 3rd best player on a team. Let me know your thoughts on the potential trade in the comment section, and peace out.